Hello everybody, this is HazmatGamer9842 here. Today I'm going to be going over everything someone needs to know before they judge a Rubik's competition. So, to start off, I'm going to go over the the processes that the judge goes through. So, normally what would happen is the competitor sits down at the competitor sits down and then someone brings them their cube. And what you would do is there's a sheet of paper that looks like this. Yeah, so there's a sheet of paper that looks like this. There'll be times filled in depending on the solve, but there's like 5 or 6 spaces depending on the sheet of um your solves of like to put solves. And what you want to do is just confirm that it's the same person that says that their name and that's the correct group number for them to be in. What you do then is take that paper out and then keep the cube in the box, put the box face down so they cannot see the cube like this. Like for example, this is like the box. It won't be clear when you actually do this, but if it is, you just put it face down on the table and you just let it sit there. So what you want to do now is when they say ready, like you ask if they're ready, and if they say ready, okay, and then you take this off. You have a stopwatch, which you start, and they'll have time to inspect it. They cannot move the cube during this time. If they do that, I believe that's either a DNF or +2. I'm gonna need to check that. Uh, uh I'd say that's a DNF. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be a DNF. Would be that penalty, yeah. Yeah, that's a DNF. But you're not supposed to do that just to begin with. That would not be good. So they have 15 seconds to do it. If they go over 15 seconds, that is a +2 penalty. If they go over 17 seconds, that is a DNF. What you would want to do though is you call out at 8 and 12 seconds. So you start the timer when they say ready. So you start it and lift it up at the same time. You look, you call it 8 seconds when 8 seconds happens, and then 12 seconds when 12 seconds happens, and +2 if it's over 15 seconds, and 17 seconds is a DNF. You stop the timer once they start the stack mat. Once the stack mat is fully start, like you have to take your hands off the stack mat and the lights start blinking for you to stop that timer. If that doesn't happen, that's like the +2 or the DNF if it goes over that time. They finish the solve, put their hands down on the stack mat, and that's that. What you want to keep in mind though is they cannot they can start the stack mat only with their fingertips, but they cannot end this but they can end the stack mat with their palms or their fingertips. Their fingertips cannot be like karate chop, they must be flat on the timer. If whatever reason the timer doesn't start like they forgot to reset it, they put it down, they go over. If they go over, that's not good. If they manage to reset it and just not get that +2 or that DNF, that is fine. Yeah, just a courteous thing to do is after their solve and once you both check the times, make sure the timer is reset. You don't have to do that, but that is recommended. If you don't fully release the cube, that is a DNF or a +2. And if once the puzzle is solved and it's like, let's see, I need to solve it for this example, but like a single move is plus two moves is a DNF. Um, However, for those of you who like slice moves, especially in your PLL algorithms or OLL algorithms, what you do need to keep in mind, a single slice move is equal to two outer moves. So therefore that would be a DNF. But if you have like an R2 move or an L2 move, those outer moves, as long as it's like a 1 or 2, that is fine. But it cannot be two outer moves like a slice. So just something to keep in mind when you are solving. We're going to go over now how you like calculate the time. So there's 3 parts of the time, and if that part of the time is 0, you don't need to add it. So the first part is the first thing you would do is have the first time. Oh, yeah. You would first put this. I know this is a bit small, but you'd put like any plus twos added up. You get in like during inspection or before solving. Like if the inspection takes too long, that kind of stuff. And then, like let's say this person gets 2 plus the time on the stack mat. Let's just say they're luckier than me, get 18 or 13. That kind of looks like plus whatever they have after. Like let's say they don't fully turn that one. They don't complete a final U move, and that's it. So that's another plus 2. And then equals, you'd have it next to it, but this is too big to fit it. So equals, and then let's say that's 13 plus 2, 15, 17 seconds. If you do get a DNF, you would have whatever the timer time is, plus like let's say 13 in parentheses, and then DNF. Then you'd both sign off on it, and then you both sign off, you'd sign here, competitor would sign here, and then you put both the cube and the paper back in the box for the scrambler to scramble it again. And then you'd raise the box up for the runner to retrieve it. Yeah. Penalties can be awarded if you're one move away, the cue does not land on the mat in front of the timer after the solve is complete. If you take more than 15 in less than 17 seconds, if it exceeds 17 seconds, it would DNF, and that is for inspection. The solver doesn't start the stack mat with their palms facing down on each side of the timer. If the solver is touching the puzzle and starting the timer at the same time, if you don't fully release the puzzle once you stop the timer, that would be at the discretion of the judge. Otherwise, it would be a DNF. The solver doesn't stop the timer using both hands placed flat on the sensor's palms down. If the solver touches the puzzle after the end of the solve before the judge inspects it, or if the blindfold solver has physical contact with the puzzle before the start of the attempt, those would all result in a +2. DNFs are very helpful for blindfold events, especially multi-blind. They're so common, so it's always in a best of format. But you don't need to worry about the averaging formats. And even worse, there's DNS, but that's rarer than the DNF. But that's also popular in blind, because if you get a DNS and you don't have if you know you can't memorize it, then you'd probably you can DNF if it's that bad, or you could try. Yeah, and just another thing to keep in mind. Sometimes there's the red giant like the display, I would always recommend looking at the actual stack mat timer first. It's just it'll probably be it could be accurate within like a second or two, not a second, like like 1 or 2 milliseconds possibly. It's just always more accurate. And I would also recommend getting used to that like time stopwatch before you actually need to use it, because like it could be bad. I've almost not been able to do it right before like the person I was judging was solving, but I fixed it right before they solve. So make sure you know what everything does with it. And if there's anything that like you don't know, always ask for your delegate. They will know what to do. And that's all the information you need to know on how to judge. Please keep an eye out for my I'm going to make a competitor info tutorial, like just like things you'd want to do, and important things to know. That'll be released soon as well. Well, thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing. Bye.